Today, I'm gonna be creating a 5-course meal inspired by Beyonce's new country album, Cowboy Carter. So grab your cowboy hats, some boots, and a frying pan. We're headed to Texas, baby, y'all. We're gonna start off with our refreshment course to go with her lyrics of Sweet Honey Buckin'. So we're gonna make sweet honey Texas tea, Southern Texas tea, Southern sweet tea. Okay, so to make the tea, I'm gonna first start by adding 2 cups of water into my pot, bring it to a slight boil, and then we're gonna add 6 black tea bags. Let it steep for about 15 minutes until it's nice and concentrated. And this is completely optional, but sometimes when you steep a lot of tea like this and it steeps for a long time, you tend to get like a bitter aftertaste. So to avoid that and cut down the tannins, you can add like a pinch or an 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda to neutralize it. Whoa. So our tea's been steeping for about 15 minutes now. It is so dark and concentrated. Yeehaw. Toss the tea bags and we're gonna add our honey. You can make it as sweet as you want. Sweet honey tea is pretty freaking sweet, but I'm gonna add about 1/3 of a cup. Let it dissolve. The tea is still fairly warm. And then in my giant tea pitcher, because everything's bigger in Texas, we're gonna fill it up with water, about 4 to 6 cups. Then we'll just carefully pour our black tea in. So to my iced tea, I'm also gonna add some lemon wedges. And let's spill some tea. So this song basically addresses the Recording Academy for her snub for Album of the Year. I think it was for her album Renaissance. A sprig of mint. Cheers. That is refreshing. But now let's move on to our next song and course for Smoke Hour. Welcome to Smoke Hour on KNY-TV Radio YouTube. You know my name, I need to know yours, so comment below. Now in this next course, I want you to sit back, relax, and go to that good place your mind likes to wander off to for some happy hour grub. And if you don't want to go, well then you can go for yourself. I'm making smoky queso dip with ranch water. First, in my cast iron pan, I'm gonna add a little drizzle of oil, let the oil get hot, then add 1/4 of a finely chopped onion and saute it for about 5 minutes until it's nice and sweaty. Make sure to salt it while it's cooking. I'm gonna add in 3 cloves of garlic and 1/2 of a seeded jalapeno, also finely chopped. Let it cook down for another minute. Then we're gonna season it with some smoked paprika, and then in another little jar, I'm gonna add my cornstarch along with 1/4 cup of evaporated milk, and we're basically making a slurry here. I'll add the slurry into the pan, let it get a little bit hot, and then we're gonna add in the rest of our milk. So using cornstarch for this recipe instead of all-purpose flour helps the cheese sauce become less gritty, and it's just a lot smoother of a queso dip. Now I'm gonna let the milk thicken up a little bit until it coats the back of a spoon. In the meantime, I'm gonna grate my cheese. I'm using 4 ounces of pepper jack and 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. I like to use sharp cheese because it adds a lot of flavor into our queso. And then once our roux is basically thick enough, I'm gonna turn off the heat and add in our cheese. The cheese is melting into the sauce, and it's looking nice and smooth. See that cheese pool? Oh yeah, I just need to melt a little bit more. Oh yeah, it's gonna melt together beautifully and be smooth. Look at that cheese sauce. But since I'm making it smoky for Smoke Hour, I'm gonna add a couple drops of liquid smoke. It's strong. A little bit definitely goes a long way. Give it a good stir. Or if you have smoked Gouda, you can use that too, but I feel like this is a little bit more versatile. And finally, we'll add in some chopped tomatoes, cilantro, and a squeeze of lime juice. So while this thickens up as it cools, let's make some ranch water. So ranch water is basically a mixture of lime, tequila, and sparkling water. It's kind of a very mild margarita, I would say. So first, I'm gonna rim my glass. I'm gonna dip the glass in a little bit of water. I'm just gonna do like 1 small side, and then tahini, which is this chili lime spice. Well, it looks a lot easier when the bartender makes it. It's the cactus desert. So now I'm gonna fill my glass with ice. Then I'm gonna add 1.5 ounces of tequila blanco, the clear kind, 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. So like half a lime. And then we're gonna flavor it with some smoked sea salt. If you don't have smoked sea salt, just add regular salt. It's supposed to bring out the flavor. And then we're gonna top it off with some Topo Chico, which is mineral sparkling water. Give it a good mix, mix, mix. Garnish it with a lime right here. Let's get our happy hour grub ready. Fill my platter with some chips. So as I'm listening to Smoke Hour, to me, I feel like the lyrics they're singing or talking about is, let's just say about Mary Jane, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's try our dip. Yeah. With the liquid smoke in there, oh my gosh. It adds just like another smoky dimension. Wash it down. That's really refreshing. I think B and Willie Nelson would definitely approve. Second, third course, let's move on to our fourth main. Spaghetti is a funny little pasta, ain't it? Yes, it is. So in this album, Beyonce has a song titled Spaghettii. And a spaghetti western is basically a broad subgenre of western films made by Italian filmmakers in the 60s and 70s. In a way, it's not the authentic western films that you're used to seeing, and so it inspired this dish, which is a super inauthentic spaghetti. This is my inauthentic version. I'm gonna roast 2 chicken breasts with some seasoning, salt, garlic powder, and chili powder. And in the Texas tradition, they boil their chicken in water and some spices. We're not gonna do that today. Once the chicken's seasoned, I'm just gonna transfer it onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. And we're gonna roast it at 350 degrees for about 16 to 18 minutes. So while the chicken's roasting, we're gonna cook up our spaghetti. Let's go ahead and make our sauce. To a large cast iron skillet, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, let it get nice shimmery and hot, and then we're gonna sweat our onions. Cook it for about 3 minutes until it's nice and soft, and then we're gonna add in our green bell peppers and garlic. I'm gonna let those cook down for another 2 to 3 minutes to really bring out the flavor, and then we're gonna hit it with some seasoning. I have cumin, smoked paprika, and chili powder. The traditional way of making Texas spaghetti uses Velveeta, but I'm gonna be using some cream cheese here because Velveeta scares me. Then I'm gonna add 1 cup of chicken broth along with half a cup of milk and let it all cook down. So just break up the cream cheese so it melts evenly. So once our cream cheese sauce has thickened slightly, we're gonna add in some diced tomatoes with green chili, and I feel like this would not be a complete Texas episode without adding Rotel. I'm gonna go ahead and give my sauce mixture a nice whisk. This helps to break up any clumps of cream cheese. Chicken's ready. And then with 2 forks, just shred it up. Okay, our chicken is all shredded. Now I just add it back to the sauce. It looks interesting. So Texas spaghetti, from what it looks like online, is more of a casserole type of spaghetti. Creamy. This is the sound of love and comfort right here. You guys are gonna hate me saying this by the end of this video, but because they do everything bigger in Texas, we're gonna top it with more cheese. I'm using the other half of my pepper jack block here, and we'll just broil it under high heat for about 5 minutes until it's nice, bubbly, and browned. And there is our spaghetti. I'm gonna garnish it with some parsley, but I think it's kind of cool how this song and this dish is a reference to both Italian and Western culture, both from a food and an artistic standpoint. Let's dig in. Ooh, look at that sauce. And with all cheese sauces, as it cools down, it's gonna firm up a lot. So that this looks loose right now, but it's gonna be cheesy. It's actually really good. It kind of reminds me of like white sauce enchiladas, just down home comfort food. It's time for dessert. Our 5th and final course, Desert Eagle, or Dessert Eagle, which I feel like this final course makes sense because it's very patriotic with the bald eagle and gives homage to the Americana vibes that Cowboy Carter has. And it's super easy. All I have to do is get one of these cake ice cream cones, dip it in some melted chocolate. I have some dark melted chocolate wafers here. You just microwave until it's like melty. And then I have some crumbled brownies here. So once the cone is done, get your vanilla ice cream or whatever your favorite ice cream is, and then we'll dunk a scoop of the ice cream right into the coconut flakes. This is the head of our bald eagle, but we want to make it look kind of furry. And acting as fast as you can, add the eyes. I'm just using chocolate chips here, and then a cashew for the beak. And that is our dessert eagle. Did I nail it? I think not, but I tried. So, it's delicious, so that's all that matters. Make these dishes for a listening party or even just your next get-together because the food was so good. And you know the next 5-course meal I make will be to the other queen herself. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.